Across the world, buried in tombs, frozen in ice, or hidden inside stone, lie artifacts that defy everything we think we know about history. Some are beautiful: crystal daggers, jade masks, golden ornaments. Others are shocking: a doll-like figurine buried 2 million years deep, a metallic plug fused inside ancient rock, or nanostructures so small and precise they rival modern aerospace technology. Archaeologists, skeptics, and believers all wrestle with the same question: how could these objects exist where they do? Are they hoaxes, natural accidents mistaken for tools, or fragments of civilizations we've forgotten, cultures so old their memory survives only in myth? Tonight, we'll travel from the temples of Mexico to the plains of Oklahoma, from Viking ice routes in Norway to the mountains of Russia, unraveling 10 of the most mysterious artifacts ever found. Each one raises doubts, each one sparks debate, and together they whisper a deeper truth. Human history may be far older, far stranger, and far more extraordinary than we dare to admit. In 2011, inside Mexico's mighty Pyramid of the Sun, archaeologists uncovered a secret buried for nearly 2 millennia. At the base of the structure, hidden among ritual offerings, lay a green serpentine mask. Unlike any other artifact from Teotihuacan, its carved features were hauntingly realistic, as if it were a portrait. Was this the face of a god, or of the city's elusive builders themselves? The Pyramid of the Sun is colossal, 220 by 230 meters at its base, rising over 65 meters tall. It dominates Teotihuacan, the city the Aztecs later called the place where gods were created. Yet its original name, purpose, and builders remain unknown. Alongside the mask were obsidian blades, pottery shards, animal bones, and figurines, deliberately arranged offerings as if to consecrate the pyramid at its construction. More disturbingly, burials found beneath predate the pyramid itself. This suggests the site may have been sacred long before Teotihuacan rose. The mask's meaning is still debated. Some archaeologists suggest it represents an ancestor interred to guard the pyramid. Others speculate it may symbolize rulers, or even gods. But why carve it so lifelike, so unlike the stylized deities we usually see in Mesoamerican art? The Aztecs, arriving centuries later, revered the pyramid as a cosmic birthplace. To them, this was no tomb, but a gateway between worlds. Did they inherit echoes of an older belief? Was the mask an offering to gods long forgotten, or a memorial to the mysterious builders who vanished without leaving their name? What would you do if you dug up what looked like a modern power plug inside a rock dated to 100,000 years ago? That's exactly what electrical engineer John J. Williams claims happened in 1998. He found a strange stone with a metallic three-pronged object embedded in it, resembling an audio or electrical connector. He named it the Enigmalith. Geological analysis suggested the rock itself was tens of thousands of years old, far older than any known technology. Skeptics immediately cried hoax. Perhaps it was a planted object encased in concrete. But Williams insisted the plug was fused seamlessly into natural stone, not glued or inserted. X-ray scans revealed opaque structures inside, suggesting hidden complexity. Yet Williams refused destructive testing, fearing damage. The implications are wild. If authentic, it could mean one of two things: either an ancient civilization long before Sumer or Egypt mastered electronics, or the object is evidence of extraterrestrial technology left on Earth in prehistory. Mainstream geologists argue natural formations can mimic artificial shapes. Without peer-reviewed study, the Enigmalith remains in limbo, an artifact both famous and infamous. But here's the curiosity. Williams never tried to sell it. He guarded it quietly, rejecting offers, claiming only that it needed more study. If it were a hoax, why not profit? If genuine, what does it reveal about our forgotten past? The Enigmalith sits as a challenge. Is it proof of impossible technology, or the cleverest fake archaeology has ever seen? In southern Iraq, at the site of Tel al-Ubaid, archaeologists unearthed a series of strange figurines dating back 7,000 years. These were not animals, nor stylized humans. They were something in between, humanoid figures with reptilian features. Some carried staffs, some wore helmets, and some, most disturbingly, depicted reptilian women nursing reptilian infants. The Ubaid culture predates the Sumerians. They built villages, practiced farming, and produced pottery. But these figurines are unlike anything else in the region. Why would the Ubaid depict lizard-like beings? Were they symbolic deities, ancestors, or representations of something they believed they had actually seen? The theme isn't unique. Across cultures, serpentine gods appear. The Naga of India, Quetzalcoatl in Mesoamerica, the Hopi snake brothers, and even legends of reptilian underground cities among Native Americans. Could these be independent myths or cultural echoes of a shared memory? Skeptics argue the figurines were fertility idols or symbolic depictions of spirits. But the breastfeeding reptilian mother figurine is especially unsettling. Fertility statues typically exaggerate human traits. This one chooses reptilian. Why? The Ubaid left no text to explain. They vanished into history, replaced by the Sumerians. Were the Lizardmen gods of an older pantheon, or remnants of encounters with something the Ubaid couldn't explain except through clay? In southern Spain, inside the Montelirio Tholos tomb, archaeologists discovered something extraordinary. An 8.5-inch dagger carved not from flint or bronze, but from pure rock crystal. It dates back 5,000 years. The dagger lay alongside 25 burials, ivory ornaments, amber beads, and gold. Nearby, smaller crystal arrowheads were found. Crystal is notoriously difficult to shape. It fractures unpredictably. Yet this dagger is precise, symmetrical, masterfully polished. Whoever made it commanded incredible skill. But why? The dagger was impractical as a weapon. Crystal is fragile. Archaeologists believe it was symbolic, an object of ritual, not war. Crystal was associated with vitality, the supernatural, even connection to ancestors. The dagger may have been a tool of ceremony, wielded by elites or shamans to channel spiritual power. Across cultures, crystal objects carry mystical weight, from Aztec quartz skulls to Tibetan crystal relics. Perhaps the Iberian dagger was part of this global fascination, a material that catches light like frozen fire. This artifact tells us something deeper. Prehistoric Iberia wasn't primitive. It had elites, rituals, symbols of power, and those symbols still glimmer with mystery. In 1889, workers drilling a well in Nampa, Idaho, pulled something shocking from a depth of 320 feet. A small figurine, shaped like a human, crafted from clay and quartz. It bore markings of clothing and jewelry. clear evidence of workmanship. Geologists dated the strata to nearly 2 million years old, long before humans were supposed to exist in North America. Critics shouted hoax, yet drilling records and multiple witnesses confirmed the find. If authentic, the Nampa image rewrites prehistory. It implies either humans or a human-like culture lived in North America nearly 2 million years ago. That would overturn everything we know about migration and evolution. Skeptics suggest contamination, arguing the figurine may have slipped into the well from higher layers. But the depth and ceiling of the strata argue otherwise. The figurine remains one of the most disputed out-of-place artifacts in America. The Nampa image is small, fragile, and yet it carries enormous weight. If genuine, it's proof that civilization, or at least artistry, existed in times we thought impossible. If false, it's a cautionary tale about how badly we want the past to be stranger than it is. Either way, the question remains, who made it? In 1969, a routine construction project near Oklahoma City turned into a mystery. Workers uncovered what looked like a polished stone floor, interlocking tiles arranged in a diamond pattern. Unlike natural rock, the surface appeared deliberately laid, smoothed, and fitted. Geologists examined the site and estimated its age at nearly 200,000 years. That's more than 10 times older than the earliest known civilizations. Some reports claim traces of grout could be seen between the stones, strengthening the argument for artificial design. Even stranger, accounts mention a hammer-like tool found nearby, raising the possibility that whoever laid the floor possessed advanced construction skills. Heavy thud, faint echo, layered with suspenseful strings. Yet the discovery was fleeting. Within weeks, development covered the site forever. Only photographs and witness testimonies remain. Skeptics argue it was a natural sandstone formation, fractures creating the illusion of tiles. Believers point to its geometric precision, insisting it was the remnant of a forgotten civilization. The mystery deepens because the American plains are not known for ancient monumental architecture. If genuine, the floor suggests a culture capable of large-scale building long before history acknowledges. Was it an ancient ceremonial plaza, a foundation for structures lost to time, or simply nature's trick, misread by eager eyes? The Oklahoma mosaic is gone, but the memory of it remains, a glimpse, perhaps, of a civilization erased before history began. In 2014, an artifact surfaced in an unexpected place, Georgia, USA. It was a votive sword, carved from green lizardite stone, adorned with dragon motifs and Chinese symbols. Experts traced its style to the Shang and Zhou dynasties, over 2,000 years old. How did a Chinese artifact end up in the American South? One theory suggests early contact across the Pacific. The Chinese, skilled navigators, could have reached the Americas centuries before Columbus. Another argues it traveled indirectly, via trade routes stretching through Asia, the Pacific Islands, and the Americas. Skeptics dismiss it as a misplaced modern reproduction. But the sword's design is consistent with ritual objects from ancient China. If authentic, it strengthens the case for transoceanic contact in antiquity. Parallels between Chinese and Mesoamerican cultures deepen the intrigue. Shared motifs in jade carving, dragon serpent figures, and ritual masks. Could these be independent inventions, or evidence of cultural diffusion? The sword's discovery remains controversial. Museums hesitate to display it, fearing the storm of debate. Yet the question lingers. Did ancient Chinese explorers reach American shores thousands of years ago? The sword itself cannot answer, but its presence in Georgia challenges the neat boundaries of world history, daring us to ask what other contacts we've overlooked. In Iraq, near Baghdad, a set of small clay jars dating to around 200 BC may hold the secret to ancient electricity. Each jar contained a copper cylinder sealed with asphalt, holding an iron rod. Fill it with acidic liquid, vinegar or lemon juice, and it produces a small current, about 1.5 volts. Known as the Baghdad Battery, this object has sparked endless debate. Was it really a battery? Some researchers suggest it was used for electroplating metals, coating gold or silver with thin layers. Others speculate it was for ritual shocks, adding awe to religious ceremonies. Skeptics argue it wasn't a battery at all. Maybe it was simply a container for scrolls or sacred documents. Yet modern experiments replicate the current exactly as described. Could Mesopotamian priests have stumbled on electricity 2 millennia before Volta? The battery fits into a larger theme: lost knowledge. Ancient Greek texts describe devices like the Antikythera mechanism. Indian texts speak of vimanas, flying machines. Were these echoes of advanced science scattered through history, glimpsed and then forgotten? The Baghdad Battery remains an enigma. If it was a true battery, then ancient Mesopotamians unlocked a force of nature centuries before the modern world. High in Norway's Jotunheimen Mountains, climate change is exposing a forgotten highway through the ice. The Lendbreen Pass, once buried under centuries of snow, is now melting and revealing treasures lost for nearly 500 years. Used from 300 AD to 1500 AD, the pass connected farms, hunting grounds and trade routes. Archaeologists uncovered more than 800 artifacts: wooden skis, mittens, ropes, sled parts, and even a wool tunic perfectly preserved in ice. Each find tells a story: a broken sled abandoned in snow, a mitten dropped by a traveller, a tunic frozen since the Viking Age, looking as if it were misplaced yesterday. The route fell silent after the Black Death, and worsening climate made it impassable. For centuries, the artifacts lay entombed, preserved by the ice, until modern warming revealed them again. The Lendbreen discoveries remind us that history is not static. It lies hidden beneath earth and ice, waiting for the right moment to emerge. Sometimes it is nature, not archaeology, that chooses when the past will return. In 1991, Russian scientists prospecting in the Ural Mountains discovered something extraordinary. Microscopic coils, spirals and shafts made of copper, tungsten and molybdenum. Under a microscope, they looked like precision-engineered components, exactly the kind used in modern aerospace and missile technology. Dating of the sediments placed them between 20,000 and 300,000 years old, long before human technology could have existed. If genuine, they represent nanotechnology tens of thousands of years ahead of schedule. Skeptics argue contamination, perhaps fragments of modern machinery mixed into soil. But the distribution and context suggest otherwise. The structures were found in multiple layers, across different sites, all in ancient strata. The implications are staggering. If real, either humanity once reached a technological level we can scarcely imagine and then collapsed, or the artifacts are not human at all. The nanostructures now sit in laboratories, studied but never explained. They force us to consider, is advanced technology a one-time miracle of modern science, or a rediscovery of something the ancients once knew? From the green mask beneath Teotihuacan to the nanostructures of the Urals, we've explored 10 artifacts that refuse to fit neatly into history's timeline. Some are likely misinterpretations. Others could be hoaxes. But a few seem to whisper of something more. Civilizations rise, fall, and vanish. Myths preserve fragments. Artifacts survive by accident. Each discovery challenges the neat stories we tell about progress. Were the ancients more advanced than we give them credit for? Did civilizations rise long before the ones we recognize? Or do these objects point to something even stranger? Contacts, knowledge, or teachers outside our history books? We may never know the full truth, but one thing is certain: the past is not silent. It waits beneath the soil, the ice, and the stone, ready to surprise us again. So which of these discoveries shocked you the most? The mask, the battery, the nanotech, or something else? One day, another artifact may rewrite history all over again.